You are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire YouTube wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leek.
And together we are
Roll Break.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday for the ones that are watching us right now. I hope that all of you are doing fine. And Jean-Paul, second SummerSlam that we've done, as Roll Break, and overall pretty decent pay-per-view, but way too long. 4 hours and a half, around 5 hours of professional wrestling. And, we watched like 4 more yesterday with SmackDown and also Rampage and more shows that we do. But like a lot of surprises. CM Punk, coming back, like made them, more surprising than ever. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, I would say overall, this SummerSlam was, I would say, if you had to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, you have to give it a thumbs up for an overall for a pay-per-view. But too long, too many matches. Like I said to you, almost all the non-title matches, except obviously the big one, Edge and Seth Rollins, were a complete waste, shouldn't have been on the show. And, some of the matches went way too long. Some of them were really quick. And like you said, the surprises and stuff, to me, if I had to say just in a sentence, like I said, thumbs up, thumbs down, get the thumbs up. But, we have some nitpicks, but the surprises and everything, I think, it made it a worthy, of a SummerSlam.
Exactly. It was actually on the upper hand. It was on the up. It was good. Thank you so very much to every single one of you that are watching. Please, keep doing so. Subscribe. Throw a comment. Hey, you like SummerSlam. You dislike SummerSlam. You love the surprises. Hey, you love that, somebody retained. Like, there was a lot of title changes. It was a pretty eventful SummerSlam. We're going to be talking about everything. Thank you to every single one of you. Don't forget to watch the rest of the content that we have throughout the pages in the channel. Also, so Paul, let's go right to this is going to be seconds. Seconds. SummerSlam started out with the pre-show with this trash. Baron Corbin against Big E. Who cares about this? I don't know who could actually care about this, but that's what they started us with. And that was pretty simple. Pretty much Baron Corbin is still protecting the briefcase. He doesn't want to give it away to Big E. Big E beat his ass. 1, 2, 3, big ending and done. I mean, this should have been Alexa Bliss, right? This should have been Eva Marie Alexa Bliss. That should have been the pre-show instead of this. This should have never happened.
Well, I mean, I would have actually had this on the pre-show and then had the Alexa Bliss and Eva Marie never happen. But yeah, I mean, this is stupid. Baron Corbin is, this makes Big E look like a waste. At least he won. That was the right thing to do, but I could care less about either of these two guys. And here we have Tom Libel says, sucks to be Heyman right now. Oh, don't worry. We'll be talking about that in a little bit.
Exactly, buddy. How you been? I hope that you're doing fine. And yeah, sucks to be Paul Heyman. He has a lot of stuff to worry about now. But that was the pre-show, like you said. SummerSlam started out with that. And I mean, not really something that we want to even pay attention to. And this was the 55,000 they said in attendance, so a pretty a lot of people. Hopefully no cases COVID related. Hopefully that doesn't happen because all of them are professional wrestling fans we are. We're more than so. And this was actually the first match that opened. No, now that wasn't the one, but this was the match that opened the show. Now you can scratch that one. RK Bros against AJ Styles and Omos for the Raw Tag Team Championship. Pretty good match, I will say, and quick, like you said. I mean, they put their spots in. They did what they were supposed to do. And what did we say? And you said it in your Raw review. I said it in mine. The titles are going to change because the RK Bros need to be champions.
Yeah, we've been saying, I've been saying it for the longest time in the Raw reviews. The RK Bros are such an over tag team. Randy Orton seems like he's actually having fun doing all this stuff. Matt Riddle's really getting over. You got to think he was a mid-card champ. Now he's a tag team champ. They're really pushing Matt Riddle. He's been one of the guys who's been called up from NXT who's actually doing pretty well for himself.
Exactly.
And, and this match, it was good. It did everything it needed to. AJ was the guy who was in there, who he would take all the offense, but he was also, he looked good for himself, because he can pretty much put on a good wrestling match with anybody. And almost came in, almost did his big man stuff, choking guys around, taking moves, no selling them everything. But no, this was really good. And at the ending, I was actually thinking Matt Riddle was going to get the pin, but he takes out Omos on the outside. AJ and Randy Orton, some roll-up attempts, counters an RKO, another roll-up, turns around, RKO. 1, 2, 3.
The most the most deadly letters in professional wrestling, like you said, RKO. And
when he I actually thought because I thought this was going to go longer. I thought he was going to kick out of the RKO because I'm like, oh, okay, he kicked out of the RKO at WrestleMania, and I'm like, oh, I guess that AJ was more legit than this one. I don't know, but no.
or like you see that Edge is actually taking up to him. But like you said, like the one thing is like the main report that we heard, like it was that the authorities from Las Vegas asked WWE to please finish the pay-per-view really quick because around in like an hour or so, like Manny Pacquiao is going to be returning to boxing. So like they were like, so you guys are not that legit, of a sport. But like, so like I've got a lot of matches went like, but I was thinking the same way that you were. I was thinking like, yeah, like maybe he's gonna kick out. But in the end, RK Bros are the new Raw Tag Team Champions, and we predicted it well. Why? Because like you said, these guys are over. And if you hear the crowd, these guys needed to be champions. And like you said, also Matt Riddle probably one of the guys that like is one of the experiments that actually is working in WWE.
Yeah, they like him. Like I say, he's over. He has charisma. Even if you don't, like all his life choices and his extracurricular activities, you got to admit the guy can
what
go
life
when
choices,
the bell rings.
What life choices? You mean? Oh, you mean Jews? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
but no,
exactly.
They needed to win, and this was good. This got the crowd hot. And then, unfortunately, what came next?
You were like, and then what happens? So,
yeah.
Well, you get like that too. You have like a lot of cake right there, and then all legit like Alexa Bliss against Eva Marie. Like, why are we actually talking about this? Why are we wasting saliva? Why are we wasting like vital fluid liquids? Like talking about this, but despite because you know what? Because we love every single one of you that watch the show, that are being with us all the time. So like this was actually quick also. But like the one thing, Eva Marie kind of wrestled, so that was surprising. We got to see Alexa, like, she's coming back to like the office. She needs to show us some of the cake, some of the stuff that we appreciate that because otherwise, why would we be watching that? And Eva Marie just slapped Lily. Like I said, the future of the doll depends on like how good the people over there in the stadium like bought the doll. So like they're gonna keep featuring her if they sell well. If it doesn't, then they're gonna take her away from TV.
Now, are you talking sell? As in people buying a replica merchandise of the doll, or are you talking sell as in, oh man, that doll has creepy powers and they boo it or cheer it? What kind of
You're right. No, I'm talking about like a purchase, a money transaction.
Okay, because I'm going to say nobody was selling the doll in this match, which they slapped the doll and Alexa Bliss screamed and everybody was so dead. They're just nobody cared about this match.
And we kind of like talk crap on AEW because like they don't know how to follow like in the like the booking of a show, how to get us excited throughout. But like here also like giving us this completely killed it for me. Why are we watching this? Alexa Bliss, out of the two she's the better wrestler, but like you're not using like great wrestlers to compare with that, right? So in the end,
you know a match is bad when you say Alexa Bliss is the best wrestler.
Exactly, like that actually saying a lot. But like the girl is like, it's just, it's over. That's the reason that they have her there. So like, there you go. And in the end, DDT, she missed like Twisted Bliss, but the DDT she connected 1, 2, 3, and Alexa Bliss gets the win. I don't know where this is going. I don't know where this feud is going to keep happening. But in the end, we get to see. There you go. Take me to the.
I was going to say I don't think this feud is going to continue because I think the feud is over. And the reason with Alexa Bliss, why I think this is so shitty is because the only reason you could explain her being creepy was the Fiend. Now that the Fiend's gone, it's like, why is she creepy? You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't make any sense. She should go back to being normal. But
exactly.
But
this go back to the regular music and everything.
Yeah, this was with Piper Niven was great because the whole thing with Eva Marie was, after Piper would win a match, Eva would get on the mic and say the winner is Eva Marie, even though she wasn't even in the match. So Piper grabs the mic and says she says the loser is Eva Marie, and then Eva's also, and then you see Piper storms off. So this group is done. Hopefully, they're going to push her because we said we need more women, we need more contenders. Report came out, the creative says they have nothing for Asuka right now, so that kind of sucks. So that's another, big star
that is true. That is
so
true.
it's like,
exactly.
now let's push Piper Niven, in
exactly.
the singles run.
I agree with you. Like they need to do something with this girl because like taking her away from like NXT UK, a big move for her, but like they need to do something. Like she's been putting good matches with a lot of the girls that she's been put against to, so like why not? So we get Mario Lopez, a lifelong fan of WWE. That's a lie. I don't know why, but like when I wake up in the morning, say by the bell and the RK Bros, and like Randy Orton kind of struggled to say RK Bro. He's like RK bro. So like, their first reactions about winning the tag team belts, it's fine. Like we're happy. Like you said, especially for Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle deserves everything because like at least he's one of the guys that entertains us, and also like in the ring he's legit. Like you always said, he's ready to go. So like good promo by them, and I don't understand what was Meyer Lopez doing there. And that's my only thing. I'm like,
because it's SummerSlam and they like to have just like celebrities. That's the only reason. You know
I mean, I'm like,
there.
can you get like somebody that actually knows the product, stuff like that? But that's only my request. So Paul, let's talk about actually the United States Championship match, Sheamus against Damien Priest. I mentioned in the Raw review that this is going to be like the most stiff match out of all of them, and I wasn't wrong because these two went at it. They hard hitting between the two, like they actually wrestle. These two know how to wrestle. Sheamus is always good putting out good matches, and I don't think that nobody praises him. You know what? Like it always passes by like being, yeah, he's Sheamus. Or like he either got us used to it, but like Priest was good also, and I think that like a good match, and we have a brand new champion here.
No, Sheamus is one of those guys who, and this will in no way be a downgrade, but I would love to see him go to NXT UK because he puts on those matches that like you watch and you almost forget it's like a worked, cooperative fight, because it looks like he's actually beating the hell out of the, his opponent. And early on, Priest was dominating, looking good, then Sheamus takes over. And this match I thought was going to be short too. No offense to Sheamus, because like you said, he, as good as he is, he's still underrated, which is insane to think. But, not a lot of people talk about him when they talk about the best guys. But I was thinking this was going to be quick just because, like we said,
Paul.
Yeah, the Manny Pacquiao fight and stuff. I thought this pay-per-view was going to fly by the pace we saw so far. That's kind of how it was going. But no, this went really long. Sheamus, looked really good, dominating and stuff. And, I like when, the mask came off and he's all like, so.
You want that one? There you go.
He's like, so.
And that allow actually like Damien Priest to like go more of the offense into
but
the
I mean
face.
like big knees and big strikes, but Damien Priest kept kicking out and stuff. I mean Damien Priest is another guy too, obviously after this match and what we saw at WrestleMania with Bad Bunny. Priest are really pushing too. I mean, how can you not? The guy's just you look at him and you're like, this guy's main event. He's gonna main event a WrestleMania at some point.
No, like and the thing, like you said, like he's actually in good, like everybody likes him. Everybody likes him in in the WWE, meaning in the locker room and everything. Why? Because like of the stuff that he did with Bad Bunny. So in the end, I guess that's his reward for like helping him out, pull him out in a good match at WrestleMania, and also like showing up. The guy, like you said, Matt Riddle. This guy actually are not failures on NXT. We can say there's at least few guys that like actually been doing good in that transition from NXT to the WWE main roster, so to say, or like Raw. But like we have a brand new United States champion. We're excited. Good job for Damien Priest. Good job. Like
what did he hit? It wasn't he didn't hit the lights.
The Awakening.
Like the Awakening, yeah.
The Awakening. Yeah, that, like like the twisted thing that like he does, but like that they call it the Awakening now. Like that's what like he did. So now let's go Paul to the next one, and that is like the SmackDown. There you go. This time I got it right. The SmackDown Tag Team Championship, and that's the Usos against them Mysterios. Remember what we saw last night? And he's like, focus, mijo. Stay focused. Don't be bullshit. Don't be fucking me this time. It's like, can we be legit this time? Yeah. Nope, it didn't happen like that. But like, don't you think like the Usos now, I mean, completely away from Roman Reigns? No mentioning of like him, all of that, but like now for focusing on being a tag team, that's not bad either. And they gave us another good match.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I think really gets the whole, tribal chief, whole family, bloodline thing over, is when the tag team is so legit on their own and Roman is so legit on their own, but then they also, are together at segments and stuff, and then it just feels even more badass because it's like, oh, they're not just Roman's cronies. They're not just his goons, they're actually the tag team champion. So it makes everything feel legit. But, no, this match was really good. And, we said these teams have chemistry. We didn't know. We thought the Mysterios were going to win. But, the way that they're portraying, the Usos here and just Roman Reigns and all that, the tribal chief, the bloodline in general, I think you needed to keep the belts on them. And like we said, maybe they're going to be telling the story with the Mysterios and stuff. But, I mean, I didn't really see that. I mean, I didn't see where it was like, oh, this match was Dominic's fault or anything that they lost, unless I missed something.
The only thing I can tell you though is like, I think that like he took away in the ring way too long. When they took him out, then like it looks like when you're playing the game and then like you take forever to wake up. But other than that, yeah, like
Yeah, I mean,
it wasn't his fault.
Dominic was in there eating a lot of offense, like that big uppercut, that they really focused on. I mean that like the Usos, they can throw some good punches and good strikes, and Dominic can sell good, and like we've been saying, Ray, he must have found the fountain of youth somewhere, or he's drinking some youth elixir, because this guy's just great. And we got to shout out the Macho Man Randy Savage gear.
Yeah,
We got
exactly.
to shout that
Yeah.
out. That's great. But the Usos, they get the win here. And like I said, at the end of the day, as much as I'd love to see the Mysterios win, I think this was the right choice.
No, yeah, and like you said, like that was cool. Like the outfit, like the gear from Rey Mysterio, like he actually kicked out of like the first Uso splash. Then they did, of course, they have to do the double super kick. They had to imitate with the Bugs, because the Bugs got the knee. Of course, we got to do something like that. I mean, it's professional.
I mean, they always did the super kick.
They always did it.
That's
Okay,
not like that's like.
And maybe I just maybe I just hate the use. I don't know, but it's already Sunday, so it's fine. But I mean, this was good. The fact that like Jay and Jimmy, like, remember, like they were able to put their differences aside. No Roman mentions. That's fine. It's good. And I'm happy for it, because so you see a little bit of concern when it comes to Ray. So we'll see. Like you said, I mean, it might be just like the Mysterios like end up breaking up, or might be having the feud, or I don't know what they're going to do. But I think that the feud will be over after that. So Paul, I don't know. You explained this to me, because I don't understand what was this. It's just like the bathroom break. I guess that's how you go to the bathroom now on a pay-per-view. And just you get boobs and and Pat McAfee and then Shinsuke Nakamura just to like dance. I guess that's how you just get a bathroom break here.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to do anything with this, you should have just been like, all right, we're gonna have Rick Boogs come out. He's gonna play Nakamura's theme. We're gonna see the King of Wrestling, your Intercontinental Champion, King Nakamura. And you could have had somebody from SmackDown interrupt him, and that could have played into what we see on Friday to be Nakamura's next feud. I don't know why, you had to just, I don't know. This is just.
It's just those like transitions that don't make any sense. I don't know why they keep doing them. But, like you said, it's just like this kind of things that like don't really make sense. Let's talk about a little bit of like the match with Sasha Banks. You have all the information. You read the report. You're also like a really good analyst.
Rumors. I won't say this is official reports. It's just rumors.
But, like the sources told you, but like we can say, man, we were not confirmed, but at least we will say something that will actually give some light on what is going on in between this situation with Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks. Up to like the moment of the match, everybody thought that Sasha was going to be in the building and ready to perform. That didn't happen. What actually ended up happening, and we got to see like Bianca comes out to the ring, and then she's like, so waiting, and then what happens? So he's not able to compete, so Carmella is going to take the place. So we're like, what the hell is this trash? We don't want to see this. We've seen this way too long. So in the end, we're about to see this, and tell me the reason the source or the report that you heard.
I mean, the thing I heard is that apparently Sasha Banks is, against, or pretty much an anti-vaxxer, anti-mask, which, well, that surprised me, because, most, younger people or and stuff, they're like, oh, they know. It's usually not to like stereotype. It's usually, older people that are kind of against it. But, that really surprised me. But who knows, there's, nuts come in all shapes and sizes. So,
Exactly.
if that's true, I lost a little bit of respect for it, because it's like, use some common sense. But, especially when you're like this, you're around all these people, all these fans. Why wouldn't you want to protect yourself? But anyway, and that's probably what it was. They probably said, oh, you got to get it. You got to get it. And she, she probably had yesterday to get it. She probably could have got it this morning. And it's like, did you get it? The show starts and she's like, nope, I didn't get it. So they're like, done.
Nope. And then, like we needed, like, the crowd comes kind of like, so, and then, whoa, and then John Paul completely, like, you see, like, he still has to mop for everything that happened right there. Becky Lynch, came back to the WWE, the music hit. Everybody's excited. The man, actually she was slated to work on October, but I'm pretty sure that, like, the CM Punk thing and also the Sasha Banks. Let's not blame AEW here. Like, let me backtrack from that. The Sasha Banks situation made Vince McMahon get this call and be like, you know what? Seth is like on SmackDown. You're on SmackDown. You're coming out. You're coming back. You're ready to go. How do you feel about this, Paul? The pop here, I don't want to say as big as Punk, but like, pretty close.
No, I mean, I would say it wasn't as big because it wasn't it didn't go on as long. It wasn't as, but the thing I liked about this is this was a legit surprise. That's
Yes.
what I liked about this, because with CM Punk, before his music hit and everything, everybody was chanting CM Punk.
Oh yeah,
So,
they
like,
knew. They knew
yeah,
exactly.
everybody was waiting for it. This was a big surprise. This was cool. I mean, I had a legit smile on my face. I was like, oh shit. Like, you know, I was like, this is awesome, because it was a surprise. So she comes in, you know, they pretty much make short work of Carmella, take her out. She's like, how about you and the man? You know, we throw it down, you know, here in Las Vegas. And Bianca agrees, and they're like, okay, you know, ring the bell. They shake hands, but Becky Lynch like cheap shots her, almost punches her or whatever. And she hits, you know, I think they called it the pump handle. It's like a pump handle slam, but it's like the man slam or what, some kind
It's
of
like
bullshit they
it's
call
very
it.
similar to the rock bottom.
Yeah,
It's, you know,
yeah.
like that. And then, but you said the rock slam, like the man slam. Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
man slam or whatever the hell they call it. So, you know, she has like a new finisher or something, I guess. And she, you know, she hit that, like you said, almost like a rock bottom, and then done. I thought it was going to be, Bianca kicks out and she's, like groggy.
We
And
got a
Becky
little bit of
Lynch,
a match. We
yeah,
got a
and then
little bit
maybe,
more of a
a
match.
couple minutes, but Becky Lynch hits it, and a bunch of people are upset. I already see on the internet, everybody's crying. How do you treat Bianca like that? That's so bullshit.
Address the
blah, blah,
situation,
blah.
Paul. Address here,
And
yeah.
and as she's leaving the ring, you see her face. She looks, they showed her at least 3 times. They kept showing her face. They're gonna make a storyline out of this, because I
Yes.
think you're gonna have Becky Lynch come out. She's probably gonna cut a promo, like I say, maybe even like a cocky, where she's like coming off as a heel, but she's like, no, I'm totally a baby face, ha ha ha. But she's really being a bitch. Maybe you're gonna see something like that with Becky Lynch, and she's gonna feud with Bianca. Because I don't think they're going to job out Bianca. I think that, they gave her the main event of WrestleMania Night 1, and you're not going to punish her for anything Sasha Banks did. So, that wouldn't make any sense. So
No.
yeah.
I think that, or either I like that, or also like Bianca becomes heel. Like she turns heel, and then Becky Lynch is like the baby face. Like you said, they're gonna make a storyline out of this.
I would make Becky heel, just because Rollins is such a good heel right now.
That would be, yeah.
And then just be, so if you ever want to portray them both on TV together, it's not, because everybody knows that they're married and have a kid.
Exactly,
WWE, everybody knows this. So
exactly, but the man is back is good. We were actually hoping for this. Like a lot of people also in the media waves, they were saying, "Oh, the women's division completely changes now that the man is here." I mean, yeah, Becky Lynch is going to add a lot of more depth, and also knowing that there's no Sasha and there's no Bayley, so they actually had to go to the next horsewoman, and that's Becky, because Charlotte is in Raw, so it's not the way that she's going to go.
Now we get to see Becky Lynch versus Tony Storm. So that.
Oh, man, there you go. That would be good. Like Australia against Ireland is going to be really good. But in the end, like you said, the new women's SmackDown champion is going to be Becky Lynch, and so but it's gonna be fine. Becky is good, and now let's talk about what is going to happen in the WWE next. Like you said, Crown Jewel is going to be in October. What is the main thing about WWE going to Saudi Arabia? Is this? They're going to have the men's and the first women's king and queen of the ring. And they're going to be crowning those right there in Saudi Arabia. That was Crown Jewel. So they're going to crown both winners right there. And of course, they need that money because that's WWE. Any thoughts? I mean, hey,
I could care less. I mean, I'm sure Rope Break will cover it in some fashion.
We will.
But,
we will. Yeah. We have the exclusive. But, you said, it's blood money. A lot of people don't like this. But, I mean, they need that money. So they're going to do it. Where we are actually not too, not even excited or anything. But, hey, we know what's next for us is going to be Extreme Rules. And that's going to be September 26th. That's going to be on a Sunday, and of course we will be live with you guys for that. So now tell me a little bit about this, another match that you said this should have never happened, and I agree with you. Drew McIntyre against Jinder Mahal. This was actually 10, 15 minutes that you could have easily taken away, because the entrances were really freaking long.
Yeah, and because Jinder, he's scared of Drew's big, dangly, meaty sword. I mean, long sword. I mean,
a man that has a big sword.
Yeah, exactly. No, but this was so shit. Because the feud, like we said, it could have been good if you really would have played off the whole, we were brothers, 3MB. We, now you're bullshit, Drew. You only care about yourself. You would have really made it good, but with Veer and Shanky, and you immediately make Jinder look like a clown. Jinder got his ass wiped in this freaking match. They just, beat the shit out of him. And, I didn't care. Drew looked real dominant. I don't think the crowd's behind him. This match, was completely dead. Nobody cared. They should have
Well, and
been.
you said it though,
At,
because of like with the emotion and everything, or like the huge pop that Becky Lynch gave to everybody. Like this was like
yeah,
a good transition that they could have
and
had.
not Alexa Bliss. No, she hijacked the thing. You know,
Kind of
whatever.
like
No,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly, exactly. But like
We
you
got to
said,
fire Kevin Dunn in the truck. He's being
yeah,
bullshit.
please do. But like claimer cake 1, 2, 3 and done,
Yeah.
and done. Like I said, completely unnecessary. We didn't need this at all. And then especially like when he's like swaving like the like the sword and everything, is like a lot of people could take that like he could actually kill somebody with that. So I mean, this is what we got. And of course, Drew McIntyre. Unfortunately, he needs a good program right now. He needs ASAP like a good credible contender, because this was just a waste of everybody's time. But I mean, you understood, because he cannot challenge for the WWE Championship. Yet nobody wants him to challenge again. So like,
Yeah,
what do you do?
I really thought he was going to move over to SmackDown, but then with what we saw, at the end of the show here, I don't think there's plans for him on SmackDown, at least for a while.
No, exactly.
So I really don't know.
Exactly. I agree with you. So like, let's move on to the next one, Paul. And this is going to be for the Raw Women's Championship. It's going to be a triple threat. Actually, I'm a big fan of triple threats. I think this one was one of like the good ones, because, every girl had opportunities. It was dramatic. It was really nice. Maybe the winner I'm not that happy about, but there you go. Rhea Ripley, Nikki ASH, and Charlotte Flair. What did you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, everybody kind of had their role in this match, and everybody is good. Nikki Cross is the weakest out of the three, I think, but that doesn't mean in any way that she's not a good wrestler. So there was three high quality women in this match. Charlotte was the real dominant one. You saw all three women were going at each other, but Nikki ASH was like picking her spots, because she's like, I'm the smallest dog in this fight. I'm not going to try to step up one-on-one with these women. I'll pick my spots when I can, big cross bodies, nobody's looking, everything. And then, eventually, because Charlotte, they portray her so dominant, Nikki and Ray are like, screw this, we got to work together. And I like the spot when they picked her up in the suplex. I'm like, okay, they're really going to slam her. And then she DDTs both of them. So I'm like, that was a little bullshit.
So they always have to make her like look like so dominant.
Yeah, and then like Charlotte hits the big like moonsault to the outside, and that, I mean, I saw that.
That's when she DDT him, like right there.
Yeah, like Nikki whacked her head on the barricade. When Charlotte did that.
Yeah,
like that.
The corkscrew, like
yeah.
Yep. She executed that well, though. Normally, like she
hit it well, that. But like, Nikki was in the wrong spot.
But in the fall, he was like, "Sorry, Nikki." Somebody has to like. But I like the whole match, like you said. I mean, Charlotte like just pretty much like every time that like Nikki wanted to do something, it's like that small kid is like, get the hell out of here.
And I like Rhea, she went for her like the clover leaf, but Nikki got out of it. Charlotte had Rhea in the figure four, and I actually thought Rhea was gonna tap, and I'm like, oh man, I don't think they're really going to bury Rhea, because that would have been the third time she tapped to Charlotte. Yes. So I don't think you're really going to do that, because they have a feud. So that'll be something, they remember. Oh, you tapped to my move 3 times.
Exactly.
So, but she got out of it. But then as soon as Charlotte locked it in on Nikki, I'm like, oh shit, here we go. Thanks you, Nikki, for having your, for being legit,
and you know what sucks, because like Nikki, like the whole sequence was really nice, because then Nikki like comes out when that happened, and then she did like the swinging the breaker, and I'm like, okay, she's gonna win. I was actually okay, legit. They're gonna actually do justice here. No, like you said, like Charlotte puts that, and one more time for the 12th time, she's gonna be like the new. She's the new Raw Women's Champion, and that's what do you do here, Paul? Like, who should have got in your head? Who would have had win?
Well, I mean, see, you just broke off Piper Niven on her own. That could be a first feud for Charlotte, because you portrayed Piper Niven legit in matches. She was beating up Asuka. She was beating up dominant women, so you can put, that would be a legitimate feud you could do. I mean, you can always do Rhea Ripley again. And who else you could really do? Charlotte Flair. Nobody's beating me. I'm so dominant, blah, blah, blah. Cuts a monster promo, gets heat. Io Shirai's music hit. Nobody beat you, huh?
There you go.
And then you get the girl. But see, she's the tag team champ, so never mind. Because see, look, that's how forgettable the NXT tag team championships are for the women. But
no,
see,
and I agree with you.
So you won't do that. But anyway, besides that, so I guess Piper Niven. I don't really know. But we'll probably see more lazy booking. Nikki ASH will probably just call her out, or Rhea Ripley. Oh, you made Nikki tap out. You didn't beat me. And then at Extreme Rules, we'll see another triple threat again.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right, and you know, I mean, like, like, I wouldn't want Nikki Ash to like her. I know that like you're not a big fan of her. I am. I
I
like
know
that.
I like her. I just don't like the
You
gimmick.
know the gimmick, yes. I know. I know that like the gimmick, you don't like that. It doesn't sit well with you. But like, I was just wanted a little bit more. Like, hey, give it like another month. You know, like it's working out. Like everybody's excited. Charlotte is just like more of the same. It's like, yeah, it's like you said. It's like, who do I feud with this girl? But you know, like WWE in that one, I don't understand why they do that.
To quote Becky Lynch's tweet, "The man and the queen are back on top."
Yeah,
She
yeah.
yeah. So there you go.
You know, who got to come back is like Ronda Rousey, but Ronda Rousey is about to give birth. She's pregnant, you know. So, you know. So, again, moving on with SummerSlam, but, you know, like, at least the match quality, I'm really happy with that triple threat. You know, like you said, Rhea had chances. Nikki had chances, so everybody looks at least.
Yeah, they all look good. I mean,
exactly,
except
like,
obviously Nikki tapped, but everybody looked good in the match.
yeah, like you said, and you can, you know, is like she actually did the bridge, and supposedly that causes so much pain that you're about to, it's so done. So like, let's move on to like one of like the most dramatic and like actually really a good story right here, like at least match wise, Edge and Seth Rollins. I like this just because, you know, in this one finally Edge gets a win on pay-per-view, and also like Seth Rollins make him look good. He took care of him, you know, a lot of spots, like he actually saved the neck because they did go really hard in like a lot of spots. He actually channeled Karrion Crossbow. I don't know if you took notice of that when he started doing shots at the neck. But before we go to do that, Paul, you know, we got a little bit of old school here. Nostalgia act. He came out to like the Brutes theme song. So that was really cool.
Yeah, you know, came out to the Brood music. That coat is badass. That entry, you know, that like jacket he had on, it was like obviously his current jacket, but it had, you know, some Brood and stuff written on it. And, you know, this was good. Then they eventually switched over, you know, played his current music. He made his way to the ring. And, you know, the match was great. Bell to bell, this was the best match on the show. You know, these guys, you know, what did we say? This was easily going to be match of the night, match of night contender.
Exactly.
You know, I would say that this was the match of the night. And, you know, I thought it was great. Rollins is, you know, he proves again why he is one of the best. Edge is badass, you know, and when I saw, not to jump to the end because we'll keep talking about it, but when I saw Edge win this, it made me want to see Cena win even more so we could see Edge versus Cena, you know, for the championship. But
exactly,
I mean, no, this was good. You know, they were pulling out all the old moves, like you said, you know,
spear like through the, you know, through the barrier, like, you know, through the ropes. That was also cool and dangerous. Yeah. So he did go in the danger zones here.
And like you say, you know, Seth Rollins hitting, you know, big suplexes off the top, the Falcon arrows, all that stuff. Like you say, you know, it was like high impact moves, but he was protecting the neck. You could tell before he did it, you know, he made sure, okay, I'm holding him legit. You know, and then
that's why I don't have pictures because we both noticed that he had like in between the arm and the armpit, you know, when like you like gotta put the, you know, you do the deodorant. It's like, okay, daddy, good, yeah, good. So like, you know, he kicked out of the spear. So like Edge then didn't have anything else, but like here, like he did the executioner. Then he went for actually like the Edge, like the submission hold.
Yeah, the educator.
Yeah, and that's actually the first finisher he had. So like, you know, he went really old school, and I like that. Even like Seth Rollins did the pedigree. He went to the glam slam.
Well, yeah, when Rollins countered the spear into the pedigree, that was legit. And when he hit, like you said, the glam slam, everybody's like, "Oh, his wife, that's badass," you know. But Rollins kicked out.
Did you think of Ben Phoenix, Paul, or did you think of Frankie Monet, or did you think of Jade Cargill?
No, I definitely thought of Beth Phoenix.
Yeah, legit. Yeah, exactly. But, you know, towards the end of this match, there you go. Crossface, and then it doesn't tap to the crossface, but like this, I guess, like a submission hole. I don't know how to even name it, like a sleeper hole, you know, because you're.
Oh, what does he call it? Is that the anti-venom? The one that he did for the Randy Orton.
Like, it seems to me like it seems to me like it is very similar.
He's called Crazy Man Edge. Look at the
eyes. Yeah, the anti-venom. I like that. Actually, I like that. Like, I like that the name of the hole. But like Seth Rollins stops out. They're really good. He didn't hit the curb stomp, because if he does it, then, you know, Edge is done.
Yeah, that's the whole thing they were selling on commentary.
I like how when he countered this, also see how, like, you know, he's about to do it, and then he turned around and he caught the food right there.
That's how he went into the executioner, right?
The educator, yeah. All of them are Edge. Edge, you know, Edge rope break, yes, Edge rope break. But there you go. Rated R superstar, you know, wins, and that's great. And again, he wins on pay-per-view because, remember, WrestleMania done, Money in the Bank done. So like finally Edge gets a win. That was cool. Next time we will see him probably Survivor Series, or maybe like 2022. like, to Royal Rumble to see what happened, but I don't see him like fighting anymore until the rest of the year. He needs to get that neck taken care of, just like not overdo it because of that done. And then, what could happen if Edge will go to another like injury, like it will be the end of like his life. So we don't want that for Edge, but great match regardless. So tell me a little bit about this, because we barely talk about this, when we do the preview to go live, Bill Goldberg and Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. I don't know how, like, I don't know if you're working or you're shooting, brother, because I don't really know what happened here. But despite that, I mean, Bobby Lashley looked like strong, and that's fine, and he retained. And get Bill Goldberg, it's just Goldberg. So tell me a little bit about this.
I mean, typical match that I thought they were going to work, where it's like, okay, Goldberg looks strong, big shoulder tackle, takes down Lashley. Lashley sells it like, so I didn't think he'd be this strong, picking each other up, slams everything. Eventually, and I wish when they did it live, it didn't look bad. They showed the replay, and it looked like complete shit. When MVP hit Goldberg in the leg, and then it was like 2 seconds. He like took some steps, then he sold it. He's like, ow, my knee. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And then he was done. And then, they go to the outside, and, Lashley.
And here's when he hits the ring post.
Yeah, Lashley just throws him into the ring post, twice, really hurting that knee. The knee was done. And then we saw a big spear on the outside from Goldberg. And when Goldberg hit the spear on the outside, I don't know if you caught it, but Lashley's head actually hit the ring post, and then he had a little bit of blood because Goldberg had some blood on his arm, and you're like, where the hell does blood come from? And it was from Lashley's head.
Can you learn how to work?
Yeah, he almost kills the Undertaker in a match that there should have been no blood. He cut Lashley, but anyway, you go back in the ring, and he's just like, oh, I'm done. I'm done. Like, he tries to stand, and I mean, he sold it legit.
Yeah,
he did sell it legit, and he's done. And the ref's like, I have to stop it, and everybody's like, what the hell? This freaking thing is, it's flatter than an old pancake. I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
It's flatter than a saggy ass. That's what it is.
Exactly. They like, this sucks. And then Lashley's like, yeah, you're right, this does suck, Jean Paul. And he gets the chair, and he starts beating the shit out of Lashley. I mean, out of Goldberg. Yeah, and then his kid jumps in, and this was like the best spot because the one thing I thought, like, isn't his kid 15?
Yeah.
And then when he started choking the shit out of him, I was like, hell
yeah.
He
did that with Hurlog, yeah.
I was like, hell yeah, get him. I wasn't like, oh, don't do it, that's bullshit. I'm like, no, fuck the kid. You jumped the barricade, you're a man now. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So obviously he jumped in there. He did the hurt lock, and then MVP quick. He's like, yo, man, stop. He's a kid. He's like, shit. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And then he grabbed the mic, and he's like, he didn't know it was a kid. He didn't, he jumped in from behind, so he didn't know. And then Goldberg kind of crawls over to his kid. He gets pissed, and Lashley and MVP walk away.
I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you.
The only thing I'm going to say is...
So, Paul, here, let me stop you for a second. So this means we're going to see another match here?
But that's exactly what I was going to say. Is the only thing I see this leading to is one of your main events at Extreme Rules.
So,
because what do you do after a match like that when you assault somebody's son? You have to get extreme.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I don't like this just because this should have been done. This should have been done. Who cares?
That just proves you have nobody built up main event on Raw.
Thank you.
To go after.
Lashley. When he hits me with those lines, how am I supposed to say anything else? All I gotta just say is, it sucks because, like, I mean, at the beginning of the match, how like they were showing that he can actually work all clotheslines, or I can do like a slam, or I can actually do military press. Okay, but the whole time of the storyline is being told, oh, 2 moves. So all of a sudden you can do more than that. But like, at least MVP, I love the fact that he goes, just so you guys know, he didn't know that was Bill Goldberg's son. It's like, so like they play around like the fact that like he's 15, 16 or whatever. That was cool. I mean, that's fine. And disappointing, I will just say, I would much rather just see spear from Goldberg.
just disappointing that it's not over.
Spear from Lashley, like jackhammer, he kicks out, and then another spear, headlock, and done. I didn't want to see another match. Maybe if Goldberg has another match in the contract, maybe that's why they do it, but that's what we have. So now let's talk about the main event. That's what we're waiting for. John Cena and Roman Reigns. This was actually really, really good. The end may be a little just disappointing, but we know why. because remember they asked us yesterday. They said like, "What is Brock Lesnar going to show up?" And we said no, unless that like because he saw CM Punk coming out, so that's why Vince is going to open the wallet and say, "Brock, I need you right now." And maybe did that happen? We're going to talk about that, but like let's hear it from Paul. And also like, this picture is badass. I'm not the greatest fan in the world of Roman Reigns, but look at all of that, like the tribal, like
that's
the family.
exactly. No, sorry to cut you off, but I'm a mark for the the bloodline and the tribal chief, so I had to cut in. No, this is exactly what I was talking about. The tag team can exist on their own. They can win matches. They can be badass. But when you want to make Roman and all them feel special, this is how you do it. They come out, they're all wearing the lays. Paul Heyman, he walks out with the belt. Roman's like, give it to me. He hands him the belt. They all three raise him up. The smoke, the fireworks, the pyro, everything, whatever's going off. Then he sends his boys to the back because then it's all about him. And that's, you make them all feel legit. And this was good. Cena obviously already made his entrance. He was fired up. Him and Punk both have Super Mario Brothers 3 shirts, so that's badass. You can
and like the legit thing is like he had all the championships that he's won.
Yeah, on the back.
Like,
with the
years. In the back. Yeah. That was a good shirt. But like, tell me a little bit about the match, because like you said, it took forever to actually get going. Because like Roman Reigns kind of dominates for the first leg of the match, like really making fun of Cena, talking to the camera, saying, "I'm sorry, the producers at Hollywood. I'm gonna whoop this guy's ass. I'm gonna like send him so injured he's not gonna be able to film more movies anymore." So Cena kind of like maybe ring rust or like kind of selling for Roman, but when towards then middle is when they actually start picking up.
No, this is exactly, and you remember it. I believe it was Survivor Series. I forget the year, maybe 2018, 19. The Survivor Series, Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
That's exactly the same thing. I mean, no cheap shot to set it up, but you're going to have the guy, now not saying the smaller guy, but you're going to have the one guy just sell his ass off, get beat up, and it's going to be 1 or 2 big moves that's going to completely turn the tide. And that's what it did for Roman. Then he went to go set up, the 5-knuckle shuffle. Roman caught him in the choke. Cena eventually gets out. Keep going, hits another 5-knuckle shuffle, hits an AA, he kicks out. Oh my God, they keep fighting. An AA through the table, he puts him back in, he kicks out. And it's like, oh my God, but now the match is picking up. Because at this point, I still thought, I'm like, man, that match at No Mercy is way better than this. They're not going to top that. That match was, like this match kind of sucks. But once it started picking up, like, okay, this is good. He did the AA from the rope again, like the avalanche or super AA, which they also did in the match at No Mercy. Roman also kicked out of that. And you're like, oh my God, into the STF and all this stuff. And it's really picking up, and you see it really, you kind of get, you think, okay, maybe Cena's going to win it. But, the whole time, the stipulation, if Roman Reigns loses, he's like, I'm leaving WWE. And we said, even if Roman's going to go film a movie, Vince McMahon isn't going to say, yeah, take 6 months off. He's going to say, no, we'll give you a week or 2. Yeah. Film a couple scenes and you come right back. So you knew Roman wasn't going to leave. He's the hottest thing in WWE right now.
And Cena is just a part-timer also. It's like, he's just like what you said yesterday, the summer of Cena. That's it. They didn't say the fall of Cena. So
I mean, well, it was the fall of Cena because, no matter what he did, he couldn't do it. Roman fights back. We see the Superman punches and everything. But, like you said, the ending, it just kind of came flat. It wasn't like a big sequence of events where it wasn't like, oh, Cena goes for the AA. Oh, he counters. Oh, dodges a clothesline, a big spear. No, it wasn't anything super climactic. It was just, he hits, Superman punch, big spear, 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns dominant, still the Universal champ. Everybody's like,
and we're ready to actually, get the video going, do our like pre-talk before we go live and all of that, and then
you gotta do your best impersonation. Wow, 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 or whatever that weird noise is that plays before. No, that noise that plays before, like in his song, it plays that weird noise before the.
And he shows up, and I mean, you were right. I was right. I mean,
he still looks like a white, like a gorilla with white skin. I mean, he still looks super intimidating. The hair's a little funny, but I like the beard. He looks badass. But this was another big pop, another surprise. We weren't seeing on Ringside and all these other bullshit sites. Oh, Lesnar. Nobody knew this. Like you said, Vince probably called him. I would assume sometime after Punk came out and said, listen, you tell me how much you want and I'll write that, times 2 on the check. You know what I mean? Like, it's done.
Exactly.
And, he comes out here, they have the stare down. Heyman is shitting himself, like Tom said. He'd hate to be Heyman right now. And Heyman's this is probably be the feud he has the most involvement in. I would, but like personal involvement in. And, this was good because they get in each other's face. They have some words. We can't, unless you can read lips, you don't really know what they were saying.
It's like, really, we have to do this shit again. It's like, bro, there's nobody else.
He's like, how much did Vince pay you? He's like, drinks are on me tonight, brother. And he's like, okay,
exactly, yeah.
But then Roman,
it's like, yeah, he really opened the wallet this time. Yeah.
But then then Roman steps out,
and then Paul look, yee.
Yep. So I mean, I don't know what is this babyface Brock Lesnar? I don't know how many times we've seen that, if we've ever seen that, but maybe against when he gets the Big Show. About it, I would say that when Heyman and the Big Show were together, I would say they were healed.
Yeah, that was exactly. That was like I said, 03 and like a Survivor Series, like 02. That's when like it happened, like like the betrayal of Heyman and all of that. So yeah, I can say that was like the only time.
But I'm gonna ask you a rapid fire question without thinking about it too much. Does Lesnar beat Roman for the belt?
Yeah.
You're gonna say yeah?
I will say yeah, but at the same time, it's like it doesn't make sense because, like, for example, like, why would you bring this guy again? We've seen this so many times. I don't care if the roles are inverted. I don't care. I don't want to see it again. I'm done. I'm done. I said yesterday, Brock Lesnar like is for everybody. I don't care.
This is the only thing I'll say about it again. Like I said, I don't think he will. And I think you brought him, if you did this solely because of Punk, I think Becky Lynch was enough because, Punk, I don't know if he's going to consistently keep 1 million fans on that show. I think for the next couple of weeks, there will be, but then when they realize Punk's not going to be on every show, then they'll only watch when maybe Punk's advertised, and then they'll drop back down to their normal viewership.
Yeah, exactly. For example, to bring him in next week is going to be tape.
But to bring him in now for what, Extreme Rules? Is that going to be your main, instead of waiting for, another month or two and bringing him in that could have been your main event of Survivor Series.
Yes.
At least made it feel special. Extreme Rules to me is a D-ranked pay-per-view. I don't know why.
It's a Monday one, exactly. It doesn't.
I don't know why you would bring him in for that.
And if you remember, Extreme Rules 2012, he debuted, coming back from like UFC and all of that, and he lost to whom? John Cena. He lost, and that was like the beginning of he had to wait like till the next year till he won a match and everything. So that was like a bad booking for him. And also, like, I have just quick news, like after the show was off the air, he actually picked up for John Cena and did the F5 onto him. So like, there you go, the Summer of Cena is absolutely done. I mean, John is legit. He's done everything, so like he could, like you said, anticlimactic.
He was probably laying there and he's probably like F5.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. He knows how to sell. It's like, F5 me. Yeah, it's legit. It's fine, and then yee, and now they're probably like just at a bar just drinking. It is all legit. They're all friends. I mean, Brock Lesnar has been. I've heard many reports like he's really cool and everything. With Cena, they're actually good fellas. Like they understand each other. And actually, Roman, I think he probably is in the mixture too. So like overall, I want to say this is like what we get. This is a nice stare down. And this is what we're going to see like for the SmackDown on the SmackDown side for Universal Championship. And yes. I mean, don't you think that though Brock lost to Drew? He should go back after Drew, So
yeah, but I mean, that would have been if Drew was still the champ and needed an opponent for SummerSlam. You could have did it because that would have made the most sense. And then you could have, he could have beat him, and then or even you could have had him. Lesnar could have had the match at SummerSlam against Drew, non-title. And he could have beat Drew, and then he could go after Lashley.
Exactly.
Or whatever. I mean, I don't know. But, I mean, I'm fine with this because Heyman is involved, and you needed somebody for Reigns.
Yeah, you needed somebody, so it's fine. And, this pretty much wraps it up for all of you guys, family. Thank you so very much to every single one of you one more time for being with us. I hope you guys enjoy this, Please comment, do us a favor, just on YouTube, go subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Also, like, give the video a like so more people are exposed to us. It's been a big week for wrestling. We had like Jean-Paul and myself, Rampage, Smackdown. I had like also Emergence from Impact. We have, and tomorrow we close with what? NXT TakeOver. This is more like gimmicky storyline telling. We go to the wrestling tomorrow. Samoa joined Karen Kross. We're going to be live also, so be with us for that. I already mentioned some of the websites, Paul. Where about all the outlets? Where else?
And make sure then you follow us, Rope Break, on Facebook, OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok, and of course right here on YouTube, your home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
Have a great morning, everybody. And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is